Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Unpopular View.
Thank you all for clicking on our faces.
Blue flag with all that.
Okay, so I wrote down some notes.
Shots do that.
I don't want to sit through hard garbage.
That's twice. That'll probably go over about as well as Colonel Defeat.
Because there was no Jay White sighting.
Just straight up gangbanging. This story has been fit. You gotta pay attention.
So Unpopular Review does not. What is she the CEO of, Chris? Jesus, golly.
Let's start the show.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to another edition of Unpopular Review. Clash of the Castle prediction show. As we know, Clash of the Castle is in Scotland this Saturday, 1 o'clock p.m. start time for Eastern United States. 5 matches, and what I'm going to say, and I say this every week here, every pay-per-view, and I'm going to say it every pay-per-view, every week, or whatever you want to call it. It's a PLE, and then Triple H is there. That is a predictable live event. The 5 freaking matches, which should at least be 7 or 8. I'm still upset about it, but Vic, how are you doing?
Good, man. Just chilling, dealing with this nepotism. You know what I mean? But we'll see what happens.
Nepotism because
Everybody
Scotland and decided to go in Scotland.
Yeah. Basically. But it should be an interesting show. I mean, like, I don't know. There's a part of me that feels like it's overly predictable for a surprise, and I said that for Backlash, and the big surprise was the crowd. So I'm very curious to see what the surprise is going to be here.
Yeah, like I said, 5 matches. Hopefully they'll give us something. One thing I'll say, even though it was 5 matches, then they annoy me that the fact there are only 5 matches. They give you good quality matches. I will never take that away from Triple H in his era, so to speak. I do feel like I'm entertained. I do enjoy it. I just feel like you're missing out because the crowd is missing out because sometimes they don't have all the wrestlers they should have on there, such as main event Jey Uso. This is the second PLE in a row he's missing. Right, and then a lot of us sit here on this very program. The main event Jey Uso is arguably your most popular wrestler today. So there is that to consider. But let's dive right into it. The first match we're going to talk about is for the Intercontinental Championship. Sami Zayn, the defending Intercontinental Champion, faces one Chad Gable. What are your thoughts when it comes up to this match? What's going on, Jeff?
Well, apparently there's a whole bunch of contracts that they're trying to get done with Chad Gable. So they might actually give him the belt. Because Sami Zayn needed the moment. Doesn't necessarily need the belt, in my opinion. Gable definitely needs the belt. I think if he had the belt and held it for a while, it would definitely get him over as a heel. If he has the belt and then gets like the Creed brothers to join him or whatever, and he could definitely do some stuff. Have a nice little faction. I am actually here for the Chad Gable heel run, because I think the guy's a really good actor. He's amazing in the ring, and I think that whatever this is, if Sami Zayn just wins the match and gets that baby face pop, if that does happen, then it might be something where it just continues the story with Otis. Because out of this, I think if it's not Chad Gable getting the rub as a heel, it's Otis getting the rub as a face. So, one of those things will happen. You know what I mean? I really don't think the changing of the title is the big thing here. I think, whatever the outcome of the match happens. Like the big, the Otis turn could happen here. But I got to be honest with you. Like, I'm really liking this story, with Otis and Maxine and Tozawa and Chad Gable and all of them. Just like, seeing what's going to happen and the crowd getting involved. Like, it's really good. So, and shout out to Sami Zayn because I feel like he is helping elevate all of them.
I definitely feel like it's one of the better stories out in wrestling right now. I agree with you wholeheartedly. This is the only match, and I know I just said predictable, but this is the only match that I have a hard time predicting who's going to win. I think Sami deserves the title. I think it's his time. I don't think it has anything to do with the contracts. negotiations. But I do believe it's time to win a singles championship. But at the same time, I think the story would be if he loses it because of Otis, and Otis finally does the turn, so to speak, on Sami Zayn. Where I'm not Sami Zayn, on Chad Gable, where Sami Zayn can just go and face somebody else and be fine, and then Chad Gable and Otis, that storyline writes itself. As opposed to if he won the Intercontinental Championship and then you're kind of teasing it a little bit longer. So I won't know until Saturday who I think is going to win, but just because we're doing a prediction show now, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pick Sami Zayn to win the match. Jeffrey says, I think Sammy retains because Otis and Alpha Academy turns on Chad. I don't think they give Chad the belt yet, but I feel like he deserves it, and I feel like this is his time. I don't know if he's going to have an opportunity after this.
I got to be honest with you. I feel like it's late for Chad Gable. I feel like he should have had a singles championship. I mean, I could be wrong. He could have had one already.
Not a singles.
Yeah, man. That should have been happened. That should have happened when he was Shorty G.
I don't know about that. Shorty G wasn't over. Chad Gable now, in his current iteration, is the most over he's ever been. And
yeah, but you know how many thank yous he had to say for that shit? Oh, thank you.
When he developed a character that actually clicked is when he became noticed. And people started paying attention like, man, this guy's really, really good. Chad Gable is one of the most smooth wrestlers I've ever seen.
I mean, look, I've been a fan of the guy since American Alpha. You know what I mean? Because the stuff in the ring that he's been doing, always amazing. You know, he just never got the respect he deserves, in my opinion. And you're right, he's getting it now. But you know, he's
arguably one of the best heels in the business today.
I agree.
I challenge you to find a better one.
I agree. I mean, he reminds me of a younger Miz with his heel stuff because he knows how to be real annoying.
He knows how to be real annoying, and one thing I will agree with you when it comes to the Miz part is I always credit the Miz. I said a lot of people only got over ever because the Miz made him over, because the Miz made him in some way, shape, or form his flunky, and people love to see him turn. Mizdow being one of those people. To a certain extent, but not completely to that extent. John Moxley was one of those people. Not John Moxley. John Morrison was one of those people. Awesome Truth. R-Truth was floundering a little bit toward he had a high and then he was going down. Then he joined Miz, got him back over. There was somebody else. Shane McMahon got a little bit more over as a heel because of him, more credible as a heel because of Miz. There's a few other people. Logan Paul. Logan Paul was definitely one of them. There was somebody else. It wasn't just Miz Dow. There was somebody else who Alex Riley. Biggest thing he's ever did was being with the Miz, quite frankly. Miz knows how to get some people over. It's just that after that, thank you. Right. Also, immediately after they beat the Miz or lose the Miz, they flounder a lot of times because the Miz just made them that much better. Let's go ahead and talk about the next match we're going to talk about, which is for the Tag Team Championship. Alba Fire and Isla Dawn, if they're still going to be involved in this match, because we all know, or most of us know, our condolences go out to Alba Fire. His mother was struck by a car here in Orlando and passed away. So our condolences go out to her. I'm not sure she will be in Scotland for it, but I would assume that she is going to still wrestle. But she's not. Hey, completely understand. More power to you. Yeah. But her against Shayna Baszler and Zoe Stark versus Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill, your current WWE Tag Team Champions. Not to steal your thunder, not at all, but yeah, go ahead. Say what you got to say.
I don't think they could just make it a regular tag match and they can have a good match. You know what I mean? Like, look, Shayna Baszler, and credit to her, like she doesn't have mic skills, but she's got ring skills, and she has been making everybody look good. Like, she has been doing a real good job. I mean, look what she did at NXT Underground.
Didn't like it. Didn't like that match.
Really? Wow. I thought it was interesting.
The thing about it, match is it's supposed to be based off of MMA, right? And I appreciate that. But if it's going to be based off of MMA, it has to look a little bit more real, and it did not. I could clearly tell. I mean, it's fine because we know it's wrestling, we know it's scripted, and we want them to protect themselves. But you can clearly see them pulling their punches and everything, and it kind of took away from me. Overall, and I mentioned this on Monday Night Raw, I wasn't really particularly too thrilled with that PLE anyway. I thought it was actually the worst PLE of all year of any wrestling promotion.
Why? Because all the twerking?
Well, no, I like Sexy Red. Get on sex. No, but I just thought it wasn't that good.
Okay, that's interesting. Well, the other thing that may happen there is something involving TNA. I don't know how they're gonna do it, but I feel like something involving TNA with these people is gonna happen. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like they might, since one tag team has to go, they might just bring in somebody from TNA in order to fill the. I mean, look, it might actually be Dana Brooke, because look, Dana Brooke showed up at NXT.
Ash by Elegance.
Whatever. That's gonna take a while to remember. Pero yeah, but like like Dana Brooke, she might show up out of nowhere, or there might be somebody in the independent scene that's from Scotland and might just show up and join. Because the thing is, like, I mean, the other thing, you don't even count this out. Like, she might actually end up going to Scotland and doing the match. Because, I mean, unfortunately for her situation, and rest in peace to her mother, like, I don't think they're going to get buried in Orlando. You know what I mean? Like, she's probably going to go overseas regardless.
From a career perspective, it's probably best for her because Lord knows when she's going to get another chance to be on the PLE.
Yeah, that's another one right there. You know what I mean? Even though it's a sad situation, like,
Very
but
sad.
Yeah, you know what I mean? She might. And then the other thing is that if she does show up, she's going to get the biggest pop probably that she's ever going to get, because, out of sympathy, and plus her hometown people and all of that, so, I mean, I hate to say this, but if I were her, I would do the match. You know what I mean? And then, but clearly, like, Bianca and Jade are going to win. If they don't win, I'd be shocked. Because the other thing with that, I mean, but then if they drop the titles, then I guess that might be the beginning of maybe a fight between them. But I really don't want to see a fight between them. You know what I mean?
Sometime soon, and they're definitely not dropping the titles to any of these two teams.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. So I think it just seems like it's a filler match for these girls that are from there.
Yeah, we're going to talk more about that. I got a lot more to talk about. Bianca and Jade, and we already knew that everybody's going to probably pick Bianca and Jade. We come back. We got 3 title matches to talk about. 4 of these matches are title matches, actually. Going to run a quick commercial break. Stay with us. You are watching Unpopular Review.
Like, who the fuck am I? Okay.
I just remember Tama Tonga because he's actually pretty good. His facial mannerisms, the way he walks, comes in the ring, even when he's on the right side.
Like a Tasmanian devil.
That's how
he works. He's a psycho. He's a maniac.
Correct.
That's the picture that I had. That's the picture that I had. You put it up there.
And they need to have more angles with him doing the thing he did backstage a couple weeks ago. He was like, like he's spazzing and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That was great. That was gold. That's why I said, okay, this guy has something in it that makes him stand out. Then I see this guy, and I'm like, okay. No, I'm like, okay. All right. You know what I'm saying? This is thing we say at my club, at night. It's called "You Go Girl," because he's riding bitch on a bike. So I'm through. Let's talk about
You want to keep talking about?
Let's get out of the main event time.
We are back. That was the SmackDown Penitentiary every single Saturday with your boy Vic over here, as well as nice flag, as well as Dice guest star this past week by myself and Mike Knox. There won't be a show on Saturday as the pay-per-view or the PLE is this Saturday, but Vic, he was riding bitch, man. He was riding bitch, Camacho. Like,
yo, you're never gonna get over that, really.
No.
Like what the hell?
Do you take Tonga La Woola seriously? Do you do it? Do you?
It hasn't even been a month, man. Who can take
It has
seriously?
been a month.
Let him at least get on the mic.
It's been a month and a half.
Let him at least get on the mic. What you mean?
Did he talk when he was riding bitch on that bike? No, and he ain't gonna talk now.
Let him talk. Let him get his stuff out. Stop.
Right.
Hey, listen, people can recreate themselves. Just because he was riding bitch at one point doesn't mean that he can't elevate from that.
Well, one wrestler that was recreated herself is Piper Niven, who was once called Dewdrop. She came back as Piper Niven about a year or two ago, and now she's going a WWE Women's Championship match against Bayley, trying to get that title in her home country. Who do you see walking out of this match the victor, Bayley or Piper Niven?
I see Bayley walking out with the title, but I see Piper Niven winning the day because these two are gonna have an amazing match. Like Piper Niven is gonna put on a show. Piper Niven is in front of her people, and you know what this is gonna be? Selena Vega versus Rhea Ripley. Straight up, that's what this is gonna be. You know what I mean? Like she's gonna lose the match and then get a standing ovation with a Scottish flag. You feel me? That's what's gonna happen. And it's gonna be a good time because she's gonna put on a show. Selena Vega versus Rhea Ripley was a good match. Like it was believable that she was, you know what I mean? So this is going to increase Piper Niven's stock very high. It's gonna make her more of a contender. Like this is gonna make her better. You know what I mean? And hopefully the crowd helps her too, because I'm very curious to see what happens.
I'm curious because she's in her home country, but Bayley is even more popular, believe it or not, internationally. So it's going to be interesting to see. Jeffrey, you said shock value Piper. Realistically, Bayley retains. 100% correct. Now, here's what I'll also say. Yeah, I'm going to throw another shot out there, buddy. If Vince McMahon was still booking, that shock value would be more likely. Because I keep saying Vince doesn't do predictable all the time. Sometimes he'll throw a curveball in there just to fuck with you. Triple H don't do that. Bayley's retaining. Next match we're going to talk about is for the WWE Championship, and that is an I Quit match between Cody Rhodes and AJ Styles. Now, traditionally and realistically speaking, this might be your main event. I don't believe it is going to be the main event. I'll explain why when we get to what I believe is going to be the main event. But AJ Styles and the Undisputed, which I wish they dropped, WWE Championship, Cody Rhodes. Vic, who do you have?
I think this match is going to start the show.
Possibly.
You know what I mean? Because since it's an I Quit match, it's probably going to be the longest match in the show. And then the thing is that this show is really more surrounded around the World Heavyweight Championship. And the reason I say that is because they created a mini belt for this PLE that is a blue World Heavyweight Championship with the little Scotland things on the side plates and things like that. Like this whole thing is centered around the other belt. So I wouldn't be surprised, like I said, that this thing opens the show, and it's definitely gonna be a long match. They're probably gonna be all over the place. Probably pull out a whole bunch of chairs and shit, and somebody might come in and cheat. The Good Brothers might show up and do some stuff. You know what I mean? So like, this is definitely going to be all over the place. Now, at the same time, in Devil's Advocate, if AJ were to win the match, it would definitely be with some shenanigans. And if he were to win the match, oh man, that would totally make him the biggest heel in wrestling. Man, that would be crazy if he were to beat Cody Rhodes. You know what I mean? As of right now, it just feels predictable that Cody Rhodes is going to win. The only problem is, it makes sense that Cody Rhodes is going to win because, I don't think anybody would be excited about Gunther versus AJ Styles.
Actually, it's an intriguing match. But it's not going to be Gunther versus Cody Rhodes either. It's going to be Gunther versus Damian Priest.
Oh yeah, my bad. So wait, who the hell would Cody Rhodes even face at SummerSlam?
My money is on Randy Orton.
Okay.
My money is on Randy Orton. Ladies and gentlemen, we have one more match to talk about. That is the main event, or what we think is going to be the main event. Stay with us. We'll last commercial break. Come back. World Heavyweight Championship. Drew McIntyre, Damian Priest. Stay with us. You're watching Unpopular Review.
That should be ashamed of yourself. I should be, but you're not. I know. Yeah, Steve. No. A child a year is about $100,000. I am not.
Well, first of all, you can't try to discourage Steve when it comes to kids. This man has like 20 at home. Steve don't believe. The reason how come Steve's talking about Raw so much is because that's the only place Steve knows. When the brand split first happened in 2002, and everybody was picking sides between SmackDown and Raw, I'm gonna tell you which one Steve wanted.
Look, he had no choice. I mean, shit. When you have 20 kids, what is the condom? That's just
28
not in your dictionary.
TV sellout in 2020.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's the Raw watch along with myself as well as Evil Dose, and of course the regular co-host as you saw in that video clip, Freckle Sensei. Speaking of Freckle Sensei, ladies and gentlemen, we have one more match to talk about. That is for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. I'm talking about Damian Priest defending his title against one Scottish psychopath, Drew McIntyre. Vic, we'll start off with you. Who do you see walking out your World Heavyweight Champion?
Well, see, it seems predictable. It seems like Damian Priest will continue to be the champion. And I say that because they're coming to Madison Square Garden after this PLE, and they already announced Jey Uso versus Damian Priest. That could have just been a swindle. Now, last year, they put so much marketing into Drew McIntyre in Scotland and all this thing that it just seemed inevitable that Drew was going to win. Once again, we are there. And this time, everybody's just like, oh, yeah, he's definitely going to win. He's definitely going to win because, he keeps saying how Damian Priest is a transitional champion. So that might make sense because look, the Puerto Rican Day Parade was last weekend. Damian Priest was there with Selena Vega. Shout out to Puerto Rico. And he was there with the championship, taking pictures with fans and this and that, getting a ton of exposure to national television at the Puerto Rican Day Parade. And he might actually drop the belt. And now, if he drops the belt because of somebody's involvement, like Carlito, then that makes sense because then there's more of a story within that Judgment Day situation. But then CM Punk may cost him the title. But then, do you really want to bury CM Punk in Scotland? I think is okay. I think that CM Punk is a guy that could be like Bret Hart and be a heel in one country and a face in another. Yeah, you know what I mean? There's several different ways that this could go. I don't think that Drew is going to walk out with the championship, but if he does, he certainly deserves it. Especially there. If he wins it there. Damian Priest is not necessarily a champion that a lot of people, unless you're Puerto Rican, but like a lot of people don't necessarily care about. And I hate to say that. Because I don't know, it's just not impactful. You know what I mean? At the same time, I feel like he needs more time. He needs more time. But there's just something about it that's just not really clicking. You know what I'm saying? Actually, But if they do keep the belt on him, then Liv Morgan basically being the new mommy and all of them having belts might help in this situation.
It's
So
not
I'm
clicking because he's not a good champion. And I said he would never be a good champion before he won the title. He's not it, right?
Mhm. You know what though? When he was the North American champion in NXT, and I don't know if it's just because of that. You know, I definitely felt like they were going somewhere with him, but I don't think. Huh? Okay. All right. I'm doing a thing. All right. Anyway. Damn, she made me lose my train of thought. Yeah, my wife. Hey, what was I saying?
You were saying when he was North American champion.
Yeah, he felt great when he was North American champion. You know what I mean? Like it was amazing. But maybe it's because it was different booking in NXT.
No, that's the same one. Triple H.
Okay. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's because
the main roster is different than NXT Raw.
I mean, but I'll tell you one thing, man. He had a Dolph Ziggler level of Money in the Bank briefcase. Got his own custom briefcase and all of that. Like they were preparing everybody for this guy to be champion, and now he's champion. You know, so I he might just need some more time, or it might literally just be a transitional thing for him to chase and get it again.
You know what? If you asked me before whatever the last PLE was, King and Queen of the Ring, who I thought would have won, it would have been Drew McIntyre. Oh, absolutely. Him CM Punk World Heavyweight Championship at SummerSlam because that's what makes the most sense to me. Drew McIntyre deserves to have that World Championship, and I feel like he's a better fit for the world title. And that's no disrespect to Damian Priest. Here's a fun fact. I actually like Damian Priest. I just don't think he's a world champion. But then King and Queen happened, and this guy won. And we were told that he was going to get a number one contendership match for the SummerSlam title, SummerSlam match for the title. When that happened, I knew it was going to be Gunther and Drew because one, they had that match last year for the Intercontinental Championship, and two, more importantly, CM Punk is still the match they want to have at SummerSlam between CM Punk and Drew. That means that title, it has to be Gunther beating somebody for the title, and your scapegoat is Drew. And the reason why he can be a scapegoat is because, realistically speaking, he knows, even though he don't want to admit to himself, and everybody knows, he should have had the championship as long as he had. Gunther is going to beat him for that title, not Drew McIntyre. And whether it's CM Punk screwing him over the same way or differently, it's going to be CM Punk screwing him over. Somehow Drew is going to get screwed. He's not going to take the L cleanly. Your winner is still World Heavyweight Champion, Damian Priest.
Makes sense.
Ladies and gentlemen, believe it or not, this is what happens with predictable live events now. We are already done in a half hour. We covered all 5 matches. Should have been 8. Rob.
Hey, listen, they don't need to do that on a glorified house show. That's for Scotland. It's not necessary anymore. Look at Backlash. Look how successful that was. All right?
Mm-hmm.
They don't need that. If they was here in the States, probably. But they don't need to do that over there. You know what I'm saying? They just need to, and then the other thing, maybe not everybody could fly over there. Maybe they got a whole where's SmackDown gonna be?
Scotland.
Okay. Yeah, man. It's probably a logistical thing, but they're making it work because everything is getting smaller. I mean, look,
Money in the Bank is next month. Well, in 3 weeks.
In 3 weeks, so they got to push for that, and that's going to be in London, right?
We'll see how many matches they have for that PLE.
Wait, where's that going to be?
That's going to be in Canada, Toronto, I believe.
Oh, it's going to be in Toronto. Oh, okay. Well, all right, we'll see. We'll see. I mean, because Toronto is like a US crowd,
but still needs a passport. Canada is not really a US crowd. Remember this? What they used to call it, Bizarro World.
Listen, man. Toronto is not deep into Canada. You know what I mean?
I still need a passport to get there.
Of course, you need a passport to get there. Everybody should have a passport. Like,
I don't have a passport.
Well, then get one, or get yourself one of those licenses that you can cross the border. Don't be scared to cross the border. Like, what's wrong with you?
I've been to Bahamas. I've been out of the country. Rob!
Going to a U.S. territory is not going out of the
Bahamas
country.
is not U.S. territory. Bahamas is their own country. Thank you very much. When I went to Puerto Rico, that's a U.S. territory. For Backlash last year, what you mentioned,
Bahamas. You're talking about a couple little islands right off of the United States. Man.
Is it?
Why don't you cross the ocean?
I did. That's how I got to the Bahamas.
No. Go to Europe. Go to Europe. Cross the ocean. Get some stamps on your passport.
Fact, I am actually supposed to go to my first international trip. Is actually supposed to be London.
Good. London is
2092.
Eiffel. When you dusty and old, when you can't walk no more, that's when you're gonna feel safe to go to London.
I will look just like I do now.
No, you won't. No, you won't.
Just like I do now.
No, you don't. No, you don't. Black cracks slow, but it cracks.
All right, Morgan Freeman.
Yeah, word up. That's funny. Word up. Vic is the tour guide. I'll be a tour guide. What you mean, man? What you talking about? I got to tour guide your ass when you come to New York. Yeah.
That's part of NXT. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching us here at Unpopular Reviews. Not Dusty at all, right? Right? He's wishing it on me.
Dusty.
He's wishing on me. I'm bored. Let's I don't want to feel like, I've been having some shots, waiting for my roommate to bring some more. Rob! About to throw something at his door.
Well, it's time for me to go.
I love that. I love that feud. The Twitter feud between Zelina Vega and Liv Morgan is fire. I wish that never ends.
You just want to see Zelina take an L.
No, I want to see Zelina use more Spanish, like dirty Spanish, sucio. She called her a sucia. You know what that is? That's like a derogatory term. That's worse than calling somebody dirty Dom. Dirty Dom is dirty. Dom is sucio. But when you call a woman sucia, that's like trailer park trash dirty. Like that's dirty. Crackhead dirty. You ever seen somebody that's crackhead dirty?
I work in some budget hotels. I definitely see some crackhead dirties in my time.
So you know sucio and sucia.
I do not know sucio and sucia. What does that mean? Right? You just say dirty.
I just told you that's dirty, but that's
dirty. Okay. Right.
But it's a level beyond dirty. Like,
Yeah, he's true. That's true. Like a sucia is like a ho.
A ho.
Yeah, like a Santa Claus ho. Like she is just giving gifts to everybody. You heard? You know what I mean?
I hope that gift is not the gift that keeps on giving.
Oh man, it's certainly. Hopefully, Liv Morgan ain't that. But anyway,
ladies and gentlemen, a lot going on Popular Review Wrestling and Entertainment. Please subscribe to us. I will go down to things, but you already know what shows are on. If you subscribe to us already, we'll talk more about it next time. And we'll see you right here on Popular Wrestling Monday for the Mike Knox show, actually. No. They're going to do, we'll talk. Stay tuned on social media. Thanks so much for watching. For Vic, I'm the exec consultant, and we'll see you right here next time on Unpopular Review. Good night, everybody.